So, welcome to Tuesday Talks with Adrienne. I am here to talk about Statement 5 today with the Women for Sobriety New Life program. So, hi, Lisa. Statement 5, I am what I think. I am a capable, competent, caring, compassionate woman. I really like this statement. This is one of my favorites. And I know I've been starting all of these with a little history lesson about the history of the statements. And this is the first one that has never been changed, ever. I went back and I looked, and as it was first printed, I am what I think. And the first printing of the thought actions, which came in 1983, was exactly as it is today. I am a capable, competent, caring, compassionate woman. So I thought that was pretty amazing. It's the first one that I researched, and I was like, we've never had to change this. And I think because it's so perfect, it is so perfect, and it's so true, and it's so the core of the program. And Jean Kirkpatrick, the WFS founder, often talked about how Statement 5 really was the core of the program. It was the very foundation of our program. And I think a big part of that, and I know from her writings that it's really because our self-image has so much to do with how we interact with the world and how we interact with substances, really. So I think, the core is changing from I am what I think, because if we think of ourselves as I'm a useless alcoholic, I'm a troublemaker, or I'm so dumb and I can't do anything right, that's what I'm going to be. And not, completely. Obviously, like, we don't always have a great idea of ourselves. But if I'm constantly telling myself, like, you're poo and nobody wants to be around you and you're really terrible, that's kind of what my experience is going to be. Whereas if I tell myself, I am a capable, competent, caring, compassionate woman, that's what I'm going to be. So this is really the core, I think, really strikes down to the heart of the WFS program, because we retrain ourselves to think from thinking badly about ourselves to thinking positively about ourselves. And that really has so many implications in everything that we do, and the way we show up in the world, and the way we interact in the world, the way we interact with our problems, as how we can practice statement 4, just everything. It has so many implications. So for those of you who are new to the program, who may have seen this 4C thing sticking around, I'm a 4C woman. This statement is really where it comes from. Not the statement itself, but the thought action. I'm a capable, competent, caring, compassionate woman. Those are our 4Cs. So it's become really kind of shorthand for us to talk about, well, I'm a 4C woman. And, she's a 4C woman. That's really, I don't identify other women in the program as, oh, well, she's also an alcoholic, or she's also a drug addict. Like, no, she's a 4C woman. So you'll hear that a lot. So what does that mean? So let's break down those 4Cs real quick. So capable. For me, that means I'm capable of a lot of things. Maybe I don't do them all, but I'm capable of doing them. I may not have that healthy habit developed yet, or I may not have learned that skill yet, or I may not have accomplished that goal yet, but I'm capable of doing it. I'm capable of learning new things and doing new things, and I'm already competent at a lot of things. So when I think of capable, it's things that I can do, and competent, it's like things that I already know how to do. I'm good at them. Like, I can change oil. I don't do it anymore. I'm in my 40s. I'm not going to change my own oil. I'm going to bring it to the shop where they do a really good job. But like in my 20s, I like changed my own oil because I thought that was tough. And I was competent at that. I'm competent at a lot of things. And those are really the things that I already know how to do and that I can do well. Caring is really, I think, for me, I tend to use caring more as how I think of myself, um, as caring for myself, and it's more of an action word for me. How do I show caring? How do I show love? Um, how do I show like self-care? And compassion is really, for me, more about my thoughts and my feelings. So I can show caring towards someone else and, do something caring for them, like make them dinner. But if I'm resenting them the whole time in my head, like, oh, they should be helping, or, why doesn't he ever do the dishes after I cook him dinner or whatever? Well, then I'm not acting with compassion. I may be acting with caring, but not with compassion. And so compassion for me is really about keeping that tender heart and keeping that soft heart, and allowing love, and internal sense of caring to others. So that's just how I've always kind of thought of those four C's, and how I've really helped myself to develop those four C's. And that's going to tie into one of our tips coming up. So um, that's the four C's. Now, so how do we do it? So now we come to the pragmatic part of Tuesday Talks. How do we do this, right? I want to believe that I am what I think, and I want to believe that I am a capable, competent, caring, compassionate woman. So what are some pragmatic action steps that we can take to do this? Especially those who are kind of new to this statement and don't quite believe it yet, or aren't very practiced at thinking nice things about themselves, which I think a lot of us come to recovery without that habit of thinking nice things about ourselves. So there's a few tips that I can share. So one is Jean Kirkpatrick's basic self-imaging exercise. And it is, you take your notebook, your journal, whatever, and you turn to a blank page, and you put a little stick figure at the top, or if you can actually draw, you can actually draw a picture of you. I do stick figures because I can't actually draw. Um, and and then you fill up the page with nice things about yourself. Sounds really simple, not really easy. In the beginning, mine definitely had change your oil because I knew I could change my oil, and I was really proud of that. But it was things like, some days, I kid you not, I can tie my shoes. I can make macaroni and cheese from a box. I can do the laundry. I can drive a car. There's things that we can all do. And really, it was really starting at that really basic level for me. And if that's all you can muster in the beginning, that's fine. Because what you're doing is you're retraining your brain to go from, I'm stupid, I'm nothing, I can't do anything right, to, I can do this, this, and this. And once I practice acknowledging, like, I can take really good care of my dog, I can change my oil, I can, check the air in my tires, whatever, then we start to get used to recognizing the good things about us. And then it starts becoming easier and easier to recognize the deeper, kind of more meaningful, positive things about ourselves. So I did, and Jean recommended in some places that we do this every day. And I did this every day. I would fill up a page in my journal with positive things about myself every day. I did it for about 3 months. And it sounds really, really simplistic, and it really is, but it's also really, really difficult sometimes. And you have to fill out the whole page. That's the thing. Like, you can't just write a couple sentences and be like, oh, I'm done. You got to fill up the whole page. So that is the kind of the core self-imaging exercise that Jean talked about that will really help you shift your thinking. And she also recommended that if like a negative thing or something kind of slips in there, which you might do, that you just cross that sucker out. Just draw a line through it. And even just the visual of drawing a line through it can really help your brain go, okay, no, I don't think that way. That's not healthy. That's not going to be helpful for me. So just draw a line through it. Now, if over 3 months the same negative thing accidentally slips out many times, you might want to look at that. But in the beginning, just practice writing good things about yourself. It's harder than it sounds. If that is too open-ended for you, the 4C list can be really helpful. So you take a piece of paper and you draw it, divide it into 4 sections, and capable, competent, caring, compassionate, and you just fill up the different boxes of, things I'm capable of doing, things I'm already competent at doing, things I care about, ways that I show compassion, right? And so that can help kind of focus your thinking in a little bit different way and might make it a little bit easier if you're looking at a big blank page and you're like, I don't even know what to say about myself here. That can be, the 4C list can be helpful. Of course, you can't sit with your journal all day long. So learning to recognize when those negative thoughts come up about yourself and learning to catch yourself in the moment. And it can be really helpful to have a phrase that you respond to when you hear those negative thoughts in your head. Or respond with. So it might just be, I am a capable, competent, caring, compassionate woman. So I might be making dinner and I drop the spoon with all the spaghetti sauce on the floor and spaghetti sauce goes everywhere. And I think, oh, you're an idiot, Adrienne. No, I'm a capable, competent, caring, compassionate woman. And the point of using a mantra kind of thing or one phrase that you go to every time is that it starts to become automatic. So it starts to become this automatic response. You're wearing that groove in your brain, just like you can wear a pattern in your brain of that negativity, you can start to wear a pattern in your brain of positivity as well. So if every time you think of a negative thought, you retrain yourself or you consciously make an effort to think the same sentence, eventually your brain is going to start doing it all by itself. You're not going to have to consciously think about it as much anymore. You're going to have a negative thought, and then the next thing you know, you're going to have that positive thought about yourself. So that's another tip. I call it a mantra. It's not really a mantra, but it's kind of your mantra. And then another kind of pragmatic exercise that we can do to help us really practice statement 5 is to use visualization. So Jean was a big proponent of meditation. So taking some time in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening, whenever you won't fall asleep doing it, to just sit up tall and straight and close your eyes and focus on your breath for a couple minutes and then visualize, like, what would my ideal self be? What do I want to be? And not necessarily CEO or, a movie star or whatever, but what would really bring me contentment and happiness and a sense of peace? And really developing that. So, and with all the 5 senses, so how do I feel? How do I look? What's around me? What does my social circle look like? What does my occupation look like? Am I working? Am I volunteering? Do I have kids? Do I not have kids? Whatever. What would a really full, happy, contented life look like and feel like to you? and really just taking the time to really establish that, get a thought in your head. Now, this is not like I'm going to work towards this ideal and I'm never going to, not, I'm definitely going to accomplish this. And if I don't, then I'm going to feel like a failure, because that's not what we're looking for. But like, what are the signs that your life is a happy, contented life? And I see Jean Herpchek, she's our board chair, by the way. Hi, Jean. The other Jean, so now we have two Jeans. She asked, what can I do to live authentically? And I really love this question, because we might not feel super authentic in thinking positive things about ourselves, especially when we're super new in sobriety. We've just been doing our addictive stuff. We might not feel super authentic about some of those positive thoughts. And I like to challenge people and think and ask them, are those negative thoughts about yourself really authentic? Or are they just a thought pattern that you've been doing because you've just gotten used to it? And I mean, nobody who drops, using my example earlier, a spoon covered in marinara is really an idiot. And that is not a sign that if you drop a spoon with marinara on it and it splashes spaghetti sauce all over your kitchen, like, that doesn't mean you're an idiot. It doesn't mean you can't do anything right, right? So those thoughts aren't authentic either. So really questioning, how authentic are your negative thoughts about yourself? And, sometimes our self-imaging too is accepting some of those things that aren't our ideal, right? So we can practice, how do I want to be? How do I want to show up in the world? What would my life look like if I was living authentically and living my truth? And also accepting that it is super authentic to not be perfect and to not always live up to those ideals. And loving yourself anyways, and showing caring and compassion for yourself. Whether you think you're acting as competently as you could, right? We all have bad days. So that's a great question, Jean. I love it. And I thank you for asking that. I'm going to paste here into the comment box a link to a webinar that I did, and it was all about self-imaging and recovery. That's right, Susie. It's okay to not be okay. So here's a link to, this is a whole hour that I went off and got super nerdy about self-imaging and how it affects recovery, and some more tips and things that you can try. So feel free to check that out. And I think that's all the time I have for today. Thank you for coming. Thanks for asking, Jean. Thanks for you guys keeping the comment section lively. I really appreciate that. It's really helpful for me. And I will see you in 2 weeks, where I will be talking about statement 6. Life can be ordinary or it can be great. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.